Come on in. Come on into my writing space. I love my writing space. It's got my computer, my notebooks, my pens and pencils and Bibles and all kinds of stuff. But I thought I'd give you a little in just a little behind the scenes kind of look at my writing processes. It's taken me a long time to figure it out. I used to write everything in my journal. This is my running journal right now. This is my one I'm using, and I'm getting close to the end of this one. But I have several blank ones ready to go. So if I run out, write too many pages today, I got another one. I used to put everything in my journal. And if I had a dream that I thought was significant, if I had a Bible study that I thought was significant, and, anything that happened, I even took it with me and did preaching notes at one time. It was all in one thing. I got a big old box of them over there in the closet because I used to carry them with me just because I wanted it all in one place where I could find it. Well, you start writing more, then stuff kind of it gets to be too much, right? You can't put a whole book in your journal when you start writing. Of course, I didn't know I was going to write books. It all started and I mean, I did poetry when I was a teenager, and I did, let's see, it was right here close nearby. Oh, my first self-published book. This looks really rugged, so don't judge, okay? But this was actually made in 1991. It's Dove's Fire, Psalmist Songbook #1, and it has been through the ringer. But it's also been in some boxes and some leaks and stuff, right? But I literally printed out these pages front and back. I just want you to note that. And then I strung them together on a printer and I still have the comb binder like this. I still have it. I use it occasionally. Every so often I'll throw something together with it, especially something I want to keep that I'm not ready to print or publish or something, but I want to keep it all in one unit. I still use it, but this was actually the copyright of this is 1991. It's just poems. So technically that would have been my first book that I published, self-published, right? And it was rough, y'all, because I literally had to print a page at a time and get the right page on the right front and back and turn it over and put it back in the right direction and then get them all lined up. And it was a mess. It took hours too. Now I can just hit the button and the printer just goes, okay, I got that. Right. But this was actually my first book that I self-published, like I said, in 1991. I call this the beginning of Dove's Fire Ministries, the ministries. And I call my books are under, I guess we'll call it a label. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe somebody has some legal terms for it, but Dove's Fire Publishing is what I put in the front of all of my things with my copyright, right, in front of all my books. So, but today I want to talk about devotionals because now I have my processes are down. I like my processes right now. I really do. What I do first is I grab a notebook. This is my next book, which I'm working on. It is Command Your Morning. I'll pull it up here on my computer. This one is the one I'm working on right now. There it is. It's coming. It's Command Your Morning, and all of my pages are in this book, right? So I have up to, this is day 18 written, and I don't write the whole thing necessarily. I write the verse I'm going to use, the thought I'm going to use. This one has a little different format. This one has, at the end, it has a meditation, declaration, and an action you can take on that day's devotion. So you read the devotion, and then it gives you something specific to meditate on, how to build your own declaration for that day, and some sort of action, even if that's just, go be kind to somebody or something. So this one's got a little bit different format, but this is where they all start now. I've also got one started for, it's not a sin to be sick. I'm working on these two things right now are the two at the top of my list, but I'm working on several others also. But I start in the notebook. Let me go back here to my projects here. But I actually start in the notebook. Actually, that's how I did Peace Out. I wrote all the scriptures down. I wrote the general thought that I wanted for the day. Sometimes I wrote the actions. Put it into action. I had 3 actionable things to do, whether that was meditate, declare, or act, take an action on it. But I had 3, maybe a question, just how does this apply to you? Or how can you apply this to your daily life or something like that? It was 3 good questions. They're good questions, I promise, at the end of each one. And that's the same format I used for 31 days. Now, 31 days, I was trying to figure out my processes, really. But once I got 31 days in Psalm 31 done, and it's right here somewhere. There it is. It's a little bit different cover on the program. But once I got this one done, then I used this book as a template to do Peace Out, and I also used it a little bit on 21 days because it's a devotional Bible study guide kind of devotional. These are my two main devotionals, and I'm working on this third one that I'm trying to get done. I've got Bible study guides. They're a little bit different, but these I've got my steps down now, right? I write the verse and the thoughts and the actions at the bottom on each page, and then when I get done, I actually have this book of basically notes. Now I have my scriptures I'm going to use on a separate piece of paper, but that's okay too. I started writing them on these next pages, so this is the one I'm working on. And once I'm done, once I've got my notes and my thoughts together in the notebook, then I come and I open the project and I get it going on the computer. And then really all I have to do is fill it in, right? Just type it in. And that's really the fast part. It's really not bad at all. So I think I'm on day 18. So if I go down to day 18, it's going to be, day 19 is going to be part of, I believe it was 31 days in Psalm 31. Oh no, peace out, probably peace out. I don't know, but I go in, then I can change my colors. I can change the font a little bit, change the format a little bit, but then I have it all ready. And once the book is completed on here, there's a button right here that says publish. I can publish it as an ebook. I can also publish it as a PDF. And then that PDF, I have to kind of work with it a little bit to put it on the print for on demand on Amazon, but it's just a matter of a couple of hours of getting it completely done. The ebook's already done at that point. Getting it in the form to where I can print it like this is probably one of the hardest things. Once I figured out how to manage the headers, the ebooks are fine, and so they go on Kindle fine. But getting it just right for the print for this, you have to go through and make sure those headers are all in the right place. But once you get that down, it's like nothing to just pull it over into their template. You have to use a special template for them. If you go to Barnes and Noble, you got a special template for them. If you go to someone else, so it's not just cut and dried. But that's kind of the process. It's like having a baby, y'all. Guys don't know. I'm sorry, but for y'all, it's like waiting for your wife to have a baby. Okay, but it's like it's almost like just this process of, I get this idea. I start with an outline, and then I start just filling that outline in, or I start pulling scriptures together. I don't want to tell you too soon, but I'm actually already working on the verses for the next one. This is Command Your Morning, and these are just scriptures mostly about mornings and days and God ordering our steps and God knowing this day and God being with us this day and how we can command our heart, so to speak, in the morning to follow God and set ourselves up to intentionally focus in on what he's saying, what he's doing, right? And just you take command of your day. You don't let your day take command of you. You may not have control over everything that happens on that day, but you don't have to let everything control you in a negative kind of way, right? And so but I've already started on, I'm going to do a second book to this one. Only all of the scriptures will come out of Psalm 119. And so it'll be a Command Your Morning Psalm 119 version. And so I'm already working on that. So now nobody else in the world, but people who see this video will know that little secret. That's my process. And it's kind of cut and dried. It's kind of fast. It seems simple, but man, it's detailed because the outline starts, the idea starts. I've got a notebook for all these different projects that I'm working on here. I've got different notes in these books. I've got one for I don't want to be, it's not a sin to be sick. That's my next big one coming out. You have to stay tuned to learn more about that one. But I've talked to so many people lately who feel condemned because they didn't get their healing right when they thought they should get it, or they didn't get it at all yet, right? And so I'm like, it's not a sin. You do not lack faith, and it's taking a new look at scriptures and realizing that yes, God is our healer, but what do you do when you don't get it? You don't beat yourself in the head. You don't condemn yourself. We look at all the different scriptures. We look at the healing in the Old Testament, healing in the New Testament, maybe the spiritual significance of these healings and how they parallel spiritual truths. And we'll even look at the people that God didn't heal in scriptures, right? Here's a sneak glimpse into it. The pool of Bethesda, it says there was a multitude. That means even God didn't count them, right? There's a multitude of people at the pool of Bethesda. Jesus walked in, healed one dude, and walked out. Left everybody else. We know there's times that they're sick and he healed all of them, but this time he did not. He walked into the pool of Bethesda, healed one dude, and kept on walking. Why? You tell me. I don't know, right? We don't always know why or how God does what he does. We just have to be content that he's going to come back around to us. Excuse me, that he's going to to be there for us. So we've got to just trust him with whatever's put on our plate for today. And if you're sick, it doesn't mean you're condemned. There's no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Zero, none. Not if you're sick, not if you're poor, not if you're weak, not if you're sinning, nothing. There's no condemnation if you are hidden in Christ. Why? Because his righteousness is enough. Now I'm going to get off preaching, and I don't want to do that. Teaching, women teach, men preach. Anyway, here's a little bit. That's a little look at my processes, my notebooks, a sneak peek into my notebook, little procedures and how I do. These are the pages that are already done in my book and what's coming up next. And you just never know. But what's next is Command Your Morning, a new devotional. And while you're waiting for that, grab a piece out. It's in the Bible, or 31 Days in Psalm 31 devotional while you're waiting on this one to come out. If you don't already have a copy, they make good Christmas gifts too. I'm just saying, you can get them on Amazon. And so anyway, that's the look at my writing process. Have a great day. I'll catch you guys next time.